button again. Okay, whatever.
Good.
There we
Right.
are.
There we are. Dun, dun, dun.
Oh God,
All
I was
right.
going to stream this to our audience too, wasn't I?
I don't know.
This won't make any sense, but I'll stream it
Oh,
to our
it's too
audience
late
too.
now.
Well, it's not really. I mean, he could do it at any point.
Any
It's not-
point.
Yep.
Any point.
You know, he could
Do you
just
have an
kick in
audience?
halfway through.
We have an
Oh!
audience. Ouch.
Oh!
Oh,
Jeez.
look.
I forget you can
Frank,
do
you-
that nowadays.
Frank,
Look,
you've
I'm even
changed.
advertising.
I currently
know,
have
as
0
you-
people
as-
watching this stream, so even you lot are not watching the stream. Why is there cable? internet?
Well, I'm streaming it. I don't need to watch it. I'm,
Yeah, I
I'm
don't
fully
need to
aware of
watch
what's
it. I
going
got
on.
all
Yeah,
you
but you
already.
need to help the stats, you know? Anyway,
You tell the stats.
so somebody watch this.
The level of no, as a YouTuber, I need the stats. I need the stats. All right. Okay. All right. Whatever. Okay. So we last saw Intrepid people. You'd come to the town. A doctor had written you a letter. You leapt into action. You took the train to the outskirts of Crawley. You then walked in the opposite direction, which is where Hooverville was. So Crawley was that way, Hooverville was that way. You went into Hooverville, which is the sort of the shanty town, for want of a better language, not to use an Americanism, where people impacted by the Depression have been living. You almost pretty much instantly went into the medical tent to meet said doctor, and then you saw a man dying in front of you as his body wasted away and sort of almost liquefied, or turned to dust, actually, turned to dust. For those of you who remember your very first adventure, you had a similar sense of things, although it was different. It wasn't exactly the same, but that same sense of drawing life and essence out of people that you encountered several years ago now. And you have just attempted to dispose of the body and make sure that nothing bad doth occur. John, quick off the mark, put it in a bag, throw it in the fire, Arnsworth.
But it was gooey because Father Daniel used the holy water.
Yeah.
That's true. Yes, you did. That's true. There was holy water hurled upon its body as well, just to make sure, which made it a gooey, dusty mess. That was then. There was a rapid movement. There was an attempt to throw it in the fire, which did not go well. And the skull / remnants of the body fell out of bag, and all the people in the community are looking at you. That's pretty much where we left it.
Well, the doctor is currently listening to the horn man playing a serenade.
A funeral.
True,
march,
because
wasn't
yeah, but also trying to lift people's spirits up, because it was pretty horrific. People took some, there was some fear thrown around there. It wasn't a good time. You are now sort of aware that something is happening in the town. The doctor's
parasitic
convinced of it.
eggs. Haven't we worked out that it's parasitic?
Yes,
Yeah.
there were eggs in the body.
Yes.
Good point. Well made. There were eggs in the
I
body,
got-
which
I
I
got
think was
notes.
what inspired Burn Fire with Goodness, or
Yep.
Fire Burn Goodness. And I think that's where we've left it. Yeah, sounds about right. So yeah, parasitic eggs in fire. You didn't keep any, did you? I can't remember.
I did, I think. Didn't I put one in a petri dish or something? Or was it one-
Probably, or a
Oh,
jar,
I think
or a
so.
tube, or something.
Yeah, I think I cut a couple of them off, or at least one I tried to squeeze and stuff, and you were describing about all the sort of ushy, squidgy goodness.
Yeah, a little writhy goodness as well. A bit of writhy goodness in there as well. Excellent. Okay. So, I think that's the recap. You know that the guy who died used to be the editor of the local newspaper, the Crawley Examiner. Right on. What do you want to do? Oh, we've lost Arnsworth. His
Was it
his
called
webcam is
Priestley?
I have a problem with my camera.
thing.
Yeah, okay.
no
Oh, check
worries.
So while Mohammed sorts his camera out, a little bit of a timeout here. I vaguely remember that we thought there were some not corrupt. There were some white folk
taking
kind
over
of
the
taking
town
over the town.
Yes.
because Harold Priestley got forced out of his paper job, didn't he, or it got shut down or something?
He did. Yes, he was bought out. And I mean, the whole reason you're here, really, in some ways, is because you think there's a link between the group who was doing the original badness all that time ago and this group, and the commonality, like the town's being bought out by a bunch of rich white folk from New York who've come up, and then suddenly people are dying in ways not dissimilar to the ways that people were dying in Harlem all those years ago. And you
with the
never
green batteries.
did catch the majority of the cultists / bad white people.
No, frankly, Amadeus and I are the only ones who got out alive, weren't we?
Is it Sedgwick?
Or not in jail.
Well, no,
yeah, I think so.
Everyone's dead. Of the original group that investigated that, it's only Amadeus and Atlanta that are still alive.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
John,
because a number of
died.
you.
I wasn't there.
Yeah, Mohammed's character died, and my character got executed.
Yeah, for arson. And murder.
Arson. Yeah.
Arson / murder, however you want to define that.
Yeah.
Correct, Amondo.
So what's the population of this shanty town? Mostly black?
Mix. It's a mixture. So yes, there are African Americans here, but there's also immigrants,
All white folk.
people like anyone who's poor.
Yeah.
The great leveler, poverty,
Overtime.
has turned up and put its foot down on society.
I have a note about the Knights of Oribus.
That's
us.
you.
That's us.
That's our secret society.
Yeah.
You are. That's the secret society to which you belong. That operates out of the armory.
Okay, that's
the Hellfighters. Yep, that's you guys.
369 at Regiment Armory.
Okay.
So I'm sensing the mood around here isn't entirely helpful to us.
Now, you've not set yourselves up for success in convincing the people to, that you're good. Let's put it that way.
Well, we took the trash out. There was a musical performance. I mean, come on.
Yeah, but can you tell them that this is a terrible, deadly disease or something that needed to be
contained,
destroyed by fire?
Contained by fire.
I had. Go on, Paul. I had asked a question that was, I think, inappropriate at the time, and I forget what the question was, but I was asking the doctor about the connection between the newspaper man and something else, and I forget what that link was. Does anybody else remember?
It wasn't the white rich folk, was it?
I think it was. But there was something
we know
specific.
Is it Theoden Sedgwick?
Yes, he's the guy that is in charge. He's the richest of the white folk.
Yeah. But
And
we don't know if he was actually in or around Harlem back when Amadeus and Atlanta last encountered this particular thing.
Maybe. You know that he was certainly running in the circles of rich folk that you suspect were involved in that cultic group.
And didn't he just recently arrive in town? Relatively recently?
A year ago, give or take. A little bit under a year ago. He's turned up and he's bought up almost everything that he can and has taken over the town.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that what I wanted to connect was, did strange occurrences start happening when he arrived?
Not immediately.
Okay.
But, people who made him unhappy have a surprising habit of getting sick and dying. It's almost like a disease. So,
like the newspaper man. Now, if I remember, that first mystery we were involved in,
Yes.
there were a number of, let us call them radios. They weren't radios, they were pottery.
Dream
but
batteries.
Dream
They
battery.
distributed
dream
around
batteries.
Harlem, around particularly our
Yeah.
neighborhood, I should say, and they were sucking the life and energy out of the population.
Correct.
Is my simple
dream-
way of understanding it.
That is exactly how you should remember it, because that's pretty much how it was going down.
Was there any geometry about that? And
No, not particularly. So what you recall, it was more that, I mean, they were actually, no, sorry, that's not completely true. There wasn't a geometry in the sense of, some sort of arcane pentagrammy thingy going on.
Yeah.
But there was a distance, there was a radius kind of thing going
Wasn't it
on.
a triangle
So
that they put them in when there was 3 of them?
yeah, but it was
Am I
more
remembering
about
that right?
distance from a central location than it was about
Right.
a specific geometric shape. Sorry, is the words I'm trying to find. Yeah.
So would any of us that might even get into the library or the public record office in Crawley be able to go through the records and see whether there was anything similar in the pattern of acquisition that this fella made? So did he, is there a triangle or whatever equidistant? There were the first properties he bought. Did they make a radius around another building that he may live in or own or something?
Or there was no eggs on people.
No, that's different.
This is a different
So
technology, I'll admit. I just wonder.
This seems potentially like an evolution of what he had in Harlem. Potentially, he might have summoned something from the dreamland that's laying these eggs, or that is being able to basically infect people with these eggs, and it's these eggs that are basically then draining them in a similar way to the dream batteries. So potentially could he use those dream batteries to power a gateway, possibly to get this creature through?
Yeah.
Again, I'm you know what I mean? I am guessing.
Would you like to make for me, please, a couple of rolls, maybe to help you kind of find your way through? One, can I get an occult roll from someone who's got a halfway decent occult skill? That would be you, Father Daniel, I suspect.
There's no occult skill.
Yeah.
Playing
the wrong game here, person.
Sorry, catching up now.
It's okay.
Learning skill.
Learning.
Semi decent on learning if you want me to, but Father's
Yeah,
of course
I will be talking with the doctor, because I know the doctor is a far more learned man than I am.
And the previous experience might be relevant.
Yeah.
Through that. All right. So can I get a learning roll, and then can I also get an investigation roll, please?
I can do an investigation roll.
Right. So you want me to roll, or do you want me to assist?
I will assist you, Amadeus.
Okay. So that gives me 1 extra, right?
Yeah, I can help you in your investigation.
Okay.
So now, GM.
I'll just blow my horn.
If possible.
I'm watching the thing. It should roll.
Yeah, I was just waiting whether I have 1 or 2 bonus dice. There you go.
No, you did 1. It's good. All right, you each got 1 success. Okay, cool. Okay, so learning roll. So you were asking about, so you can talk to people in the Hooverville community. You can talk to the doctor. You're going to find it very difficult to get into the library. None of you are going to kind of just be able to walk in. Maybe with the exception of Father Daniel, actually, he might be the one exception to that statement. But either way, there doesn't seem to be a particular geographic or geometric shape or form. There are a couple of places, though, that you're able to sort of identify as seeming to be places of significant activity, maybe. there is a house in the center of Crawley. Let's see what it's called. Yeah, okay. No, it's on the outskirts of Crawley, which you're quickly able to identify has been bought out by Sedgwick. Sorry, getting there. Which is called Prospect House. So it's a large mansion. It was owned by a guy called Hawkes, and he disappeared about 12 or so months ago. He was kind of maybe that's giving too much weight. Anyway, he was around. From an investigation perspective, it becomes pretty obvious to you guys that there's a couple of very specifically weird things that have happened, which don't accord to your understanding of how the dream batteries worked, but are definitively odd. One is, and this is probably the most important one, people inside Hooverville have this sort of weird experience every now and then. They all kind of wake up. They can't really describe falling asleep, but they all sort of wake up the next morning without having any particular memory of going to sleep.
Some sort of mind control.
Yeah, and you know that it's just very off-putting. So people talk about it a lot because it's very weird. They didn't used to, but your investigation quickly identifies that there's something happening there. And members of the community have gone missing recently. So you haven't really gone out and talked to people. So other members of the community have gone missing. In particular, in the last little while, 2 children have gone missing. So a kid called Billy Spitzer and a girl called Esther Frayne, Freyn, if anyone cares about the spelling.
So say the girl again.
Esther Frayne.
Esther Frayne.
Frayne.
Freyn.
YN.
Reyn. Yeah.
Is there any?
Go ahead, Douglas.
So the children and those missing, they're from Crawley.
No, they're from Hooverville. Both
Okay,
of them
they are from Hooverville.
Hooverville.
So these are people who are relatively poor or under.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Destitute would be the right language.
Okay, destitute. Okay.
Yeah.
Did this disappearance increase after this new folks has?
It didn't happen before the new folks.
Oh, okay.
I think John's question is valid in the sense that the community's always got people going in and out of it. It's on a railway line. People move in and out of the community all the time, trying to find jobs, trying to find that opportunity that they haven't been able to find elsewhere. So no, there's definitely a sense of transience to the community and to the people. But yes, in answer to the formal question, specifically, it has gone up, and more importantly, it's definitely people going missing, if that makes sense.
So this
missing
would
and not returning.
Yeah,
correct. Yes,
but this would be an obvious place if somebody is going to take someone. They wouldn't necessarily be missed.
Yeah,
as much.
Completely agree.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, and you guys are very experienced with that because that is why Harlem was such a good target for what was going on originally, right?
Yeah.
Local police force is not exactly, inspired to investigate.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So, you've got a couple of options. There's this Prospect House. There is a police force in the town, although the residents of Hooverville have very little, if anything, to do with it. But there is an option there. And there's trying to work out what's going on.
Can I ask some residents who may be relatively familiar with the police, if they're and those who have been around the community for over a year, that if the police force, if members of the police changed either a little bit or possibly dramatically
over the last year or so.
Over the last year, yeah.
Whether they've been
whether there's been a turnaround of
whether there are new officers.
New, yeah.
I'm trying to see if they've been bought off by Sedgwick or replaced by his own people.
Mm-hmm.
Or even just got more aggressive. The individuals have been empowered.
Yeah. What would you like me to roll, if anything?
I'm just checking in who's the local sergeant. I do have his name. Sorry, not sergeant, local captain of the police force. I think, though, in answer to your question, it's another investigation roll.
Okay.
I guess this is a new place, so I didn't write any notes about it for my book.
I'm already angry, so I'm not gonna push this.
Okay.
Oh, poor folk, Samuel.
Oh, I'm angry.
The police are never great.
We've witnessed that.
What's the difference between a bastard and an absolute bastard?
You're right.
Okay, so no, pretty much beyond what Atlanta just said. There's not a lot to know about the police.
Yeah. Okay.
So how white is Crawley?
How white is Crawley?
Pretty
white.
How white is Crawley now, and how white was Crawley actually? This newspaper editor was he white?
He was white. He was white. There's a real the community's always been predominantly white. It's a rural community in the north, so it's not exactly diverse. And the doctor, who you know, was coloured and had a job. He's now lost that job, obviously, as he's now out in Hooverville. So no, it's pretty. That's probably not a particularly fruitful space to go, because it's a predominantly white community and always has been.
And what about Prospect House?
Yeah, so Prospect House is a large mansion on the outskirts of Crawley. You're able to sort of ascertain that it was bought by Sedgwick, but perhaps the story of the community is it's a bit weird because they bought it, but they don't live in it. So it's kind of been run down. And the former residents, this guy Hawkes, hasn't been seen for a long time.
What was Hawkes' profession?
Hawkes was an inventor.
And what would he be known for?
Inventing stuff that people don't really know very much about.
Okay,
you know, it's that sort of late 1800s, early 1900s kind of thing where people were legitimately just known as inventors, right? Like
Okay.
they made shit, they invented stuff. It wasn't like, disciplines of science kind of understanding of that
No.
concept. It was
Get a
It was very
patent.
Yeah.
So, John,
multidiscipline.
I have
Yeah.
a sneaking suspicion the local council might be sending a couple of, I don't know, pest control people into this derelict building.
Oh, okay. We're increasing our.
Out
we
come
still have the suits.
out come the pest control overalls.
We still have the
Yeah,
suits.
Well, I'm,
yeah.
thinking, I'm
Sure.
thinking they're our electricity company overalls, but nobody's going to look that closely, are they?
Yeah.
Just put a-
Westinghouse.
just
Yeah.
put a
Should
pat-
I
just
try
put
to
a-
see if I can get into the library?
I respect the fact that these overalls are getting multi-use. I think that's a good thing.
While you're doing that, shall I try to get into the
But
library?
we have to embroil some instinct instead of electricity because last time it was electricity, right?
Yeah.
Father,
Was
you're
electric-
getting into the library?
I could try.
Yeah, go for it.
I think what's hilarious is when you get the uniforms on and you look down and you go, we've got the toolbox for the electrical work. How do we make that look like we're pest controllers? I'm inspired by the necessary extra work needed to make it look like, no, we're here for pest control. That looks awfully like, anyway. All right,
Get
so,
some bellows.
yeah.
A hose and some bottle with some liquid in
Yeah.
it. And
So, Father
Yeah,
Daniel,
bug zappers.
how do you
I mean-
want to approach? Oh, sorry.
I was going to say, John, if you don't want to do the pest, I just thought pest control derelict building, we could be there to check the electrics, make sure there isn't a
100%.
fire. Shall we do that?
100%. I'm going with pest control. It's better.
It's fun.
Is somebody going with Father?
They wouldn't let us in, would they?
No. So,
So I don't think.
I'll stay with Amadeus.
You'd be very noticeable.
Okay.
Might be the right language. All right, so 3 groups. Good, excellent. That's fantastic. All right, so I might just kind of roll through this reasonably quickly. So, Father Daniel.
Okay.
What is your
I'm-
plan of attack here? Is it just walk through the front doors and say, "Hi, I'm here to see the library"?
Yeah.
With your priestly collar on as defense
Oh
and
yeah,
armor.
all my accoutrements, big rosaries.
Yeah.
Get the full whack out basically.
Your mask?
Obviously, apart from the Orisha mask.
Maybe no. The Orisha mask maybe doesn't move the needle
I
in the
don't think
direction
that
you want it to move.
That's the thing about.
Okay, so you just walk into the middle of town. So the thing is, you have to walk into the middle of town, right? So you're walking through the town. It's quiet. It's pretty standard though. There's nothing particularly sort of surprising about that. Actually, hold on. Let's go back one step.
Yeah.
I think by the time you got into Hooverville, it was late in the afternoon. So let's just put a pause on this. Are you guys going to wait until the next morning to do these things, or are you going to kind of do them at night? Fascinating questions.
No, I think pest control don't work at night generally.
Creepy old abandoned houses at night might not.
24/7 for at your service.
24/7. Wow, innovation!
I'm quite happy
Innovation in the
to,
1930s.
after the shock we all had, to actually rest up a little bit.
Well, this
Yeah,
day and
I-
age, John, you got a job, you'll do it, whatever is required.
I'm gonna join. I'm gonna join Amadeus, and I'm gonna rest my weary bones. My weary bones.
Okay, so everyone recover 1 condition as you rest overnight.
Yeah.
I'm
next-
conditionless. So.
All right, so now we'll just
It's too early
can
for
I
me.
get everyone to make a? He
Fear
says
test?
out loud.
Oh my god.
The fear.
Getting infected roll.
What will it be? Ooh, that's a good question.
Survival
No,
doesn't
an
exist anyway.
No skill.
empathy roll.
Empathy.
Empathy, that's my bag.
Straight empathy.
Straight
Straight
empathy, huh?
empathy.
Ha ha. 3 5
Ha.
6.
Haha.
Oh, Jesus! Did someone get 2
Everybody, look at that.
Oh no, I didn't.
3
Wait,
successes.
yes, I did.
3 success.
Daniel.
Father Daniel, stop showing off.
It's because he's in his kit.
Did anyone fail?
No,
No.
no.
no dreams.
Oh, That's not
Are you
helpful. All right.
are you
Not
going to
on.
punish us?
No, it's just anyway, whatever. All right, so you're all
We all
asleep.
sleep soundly.
No, it's the opposite actually. You all are asleep. It's about, let's say, 11 p.m. at night. Obviously, because of your deep experience in spooky shit, and also maybe because you've all been to the Dreamland. Actually, maybe because you've all been to the Dreamland and you've actually, you know, traveled between dimensions and particularly into the dimension of sleep. You're all suddenly startled awake. There's this high-pitched sound that is as irritating as hell. It is.
He's playing his horn again.
It's like a screeching, squealing,
Yeah,
kind of in your ear,
he's playing his
and you can see around you that, and you're sleeping in just, you know, the tent attached to the first aid / hospital / whatever tent. That, except for that sound, there's no sound. There's a silence underneath it. Like there's no sound of people talking or moving. There's no snoring even. There's just dead silence, except for this screeching, screamy sound, which doesn't seem to have woken anyone else up.
The five
But
of us are awake.
all
and the
5 of
three
you
people.
have, however, woken up.
Okay,
And
I'm gonna do
actually,
this quietly.
Father Daniel in particular is like, you know,
with my horn.
Okay.
I'm just gonna
I'll-
sort of noodle. Can I sense any pattern to this sound or any
no,
tones?
it's
Nothing.
actually, it's almost like an endless scream.
Was it the same scream that I heard when I burned these creatures?
It's not, but it's not dissimilar.
Getting out of the tent, can I walk around and sense?
Are
that
you,
there's a
so you're
direction
getting
that
up
it's
to go
coming
out of
from?
the tent? That's an
Yeah.
important comment.
Yeah.
Could
Same.
you make a is it vigilance that I want? I think it is. Yes.
Yeah.
Could you make a vigilance roll for me, please?
I'd probably go along with him, or at least do something similar soon after.
Yeah.
Good,
Yeah.
because if somebody can be vigilant around me, that's always good. Because I have got
I'll go around.
3 dice.
And unlike your
yeah.
empathy roll, that doesn't crack it in for you. Yeah, no.
I might take a little bit of fear of this one and roll that again.
I just wonder whether this is the sound that keeps them asleep at night.
No,
So there's
Hold
no
on. So
like,
sorry,
go on.
Amadeus, are you making a vigilance roll?
I would definitely, if he goes out, I would definitely follow.
Because you
Sorry.
said you were going out with him. So
Yeah. I wouldn't want
So-
anybody to be walking around by themselves.
Yeah, I was reaching into my my bag and pulling out my mask.
mask. Okay. So Amadeus, as you see Atlanta get up to go out and you get up to follow him, you can hear now the crunching of footsteps.
And it's not Atlantis.
No,
I just
like
grab him on the
people are
shoulder.
walking around outside the tent.
Do you hear that? There are shufflers out there. People are shuffling about.
Are there any other nature sounds?
take me
or-
this thing. Yes, okay.
So it's just silence. So
Okay,
that's just
Hmm.
that's what you can hear is the silence.
So this is something that keeps everybody quiet while people, Knights Black agents, as it were, do their terrible
Interesting turn of
deeds.
phrase. Yeah, or maybe they're being lured and controlled to do something without being aware of it.
Let's
So you guys
peek
are
out of the
whispering
tent
away,
and
I
see.
assume.
Yeah, I don't think we've quite left the tent yet. But now that
Mhm.
Amadeus has told me, can we peek out and just see where these footsteps are coming from? But
You
stealthily.
can.
Yeah.
Yes. So could I get a stealth roll, please?
Yeah. I will try.
From all of us.
Oh, not me. Damn it.
Would you like to push that roll?
I'll go on. It's quite tiring this night, so I'm going to push that roll.
And he
Can
gets a
I-
success.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You
Finally.
did. You did.
Okay.
I
So
might. That's physical, isn't it? Precision.
it is, yes.
So I might also be exhausted because I'm actually waking up in the middle of the night and then push my roll.
You are.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay,
almost.
all right. So a couple of things then. So Atlanta, you carefully peek out through the gaps of the tent or whatever. You don't see anything immediately, and then you see there's a big guy. He's odd in that he's kind of in a really well apportioned suit, but he's sort of bloated in some way, like he's not quite fitting in the suit. He's got arms that bulge, very overweight.
Okay. Big
Very
guy, as in the kingpin.
Well, you don't know who you're looking at, but he's
No.
big...
But I mean, as in, I'm looking for a metaphor from you for what he looks like.
Oh, as in
Does
the
he look
kingpin.
like the kingpin out of Marvel
More like
comic?
the Blob, if
More
I'm
like
using a
right,
Marvel
okay.
reference. So more like the Blob.
Oh.
So that kind of
bloated
look.
with eggs.
Yeah, bloated in some way. Standing,
But in a smart suit.
but in a smart suit, and standing next to him is a thin, sharply dressed man who's got, classic sort of fedora type, who looks distinctly familiar to you in the sense that you know this type of person because you've actually run into them a few times. If there was
In the
ever
theatre in Harlem?
"Hi, I'm from the mafia, here's my card,"
Right.
look, this guy would have that card. Standing next to him, he's got what looks to you like a Thompson submachine gun.
Oh, yeah.
Right, okay.
So they're both walking around together, looking around like this. You can see the big guy has got something in his arms. He's carrying something not dissimilar to the way that you would carry a baby.
Aha.
Can I follow them stealthily?
Well, the thing is, they both. So the thing that's helping you a bit is there's this kind of ever-present sound, obviously.
Yeah.
That you can, that's sort of doing things. The other thing that's helping you is they seem to be gesturing at each other every now and then. They're not talking. They're like, doing this with their hands. You get the distinct impression they can't hear each other.
Mm.
Right.
They're deaf.
Now you want to follow. Yeah, you want to follow them. Before you do so, can I get everyone to make another empathy roll, please?
I will probably fail miserably this time.
I mean,
Don't
just
doubt
to
yourself,
interject
John.
a little
Don't
bit,
doubt
if I
yourself,
may,
buddy.
I would probably try to gather everybody up.
One
now.
success.
Come on, let's get out there. Just to interject that for a moment.
Oh,
Okay.
one success.
Ha.
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 Okay, Father Daniel. Unfortunately, your time of
3
wakefulness
last
is
time.
at an end. I know this is the injustice of society being played out in real time. Okay. You all see Daniel sort of collapse back into his bed. He was getting out. He was starting to do things, and then he collapses back into his bed.
Did my Orisha mask give me any bonuses? Because I was wearing it.
Because I don't know if you
Okay,
recall, but your Orisha mask has stopped being magical.
Yeah, it's a different one. I just my normal. So I don't get. It doesn't give me 2 bonuses anymore.
Not for. You have
This
found it.
particular
You are
instance.
much more distant from after
Yeah,
they
yeah,
sealed themselves away in the dreamland.
Yeah. No, that's fair enough.
The sort of I have magic bit has kind of faded away.
That's cool.
All right. The rest of you see him collapse back into his bed. and he goes completely still when he does so. Like he's not snoring; he's just kind of laying there, sort of
Father,
almost paralytic.
Doctor, take a look at the father.
I roll
Now,
my eyes
you guys
at
are
him.
talking to each other. To talk to each other, you need to lift your voices above the sound of the scream.
Okay, well, I don't realize that he's not hearing me, and so I don't raise my voice. I'm just like speaking, and he's like looking at me.
I was just trying to get everybody to move out, and I just see him collapse onto his bed. I mean, of course, I'm going to go over.
Yeah. So he is unconscious and
Can I bring him round?
seemingly impossible to wake up.
Ah, damn it. I was going to really pinch him hard in the side.
Which you can do, and it does nothing.
Ah, damn it.
All right.
Put his hands in a
Apart
glass of
from
water.
hurt.
Now, what are the other two of you doing, John and Atlanta?
I'm just thinking, as should we follow them?
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I get stealth rolls from both of you as you step out of the tent and attempt to follow them as they move down the Hooverville space?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, bollocks.
Ooh, maybe not.
I'm just hearing Atlanta going to push, or
Let's go with Thompson.
Yeah.
I'm going to take
Yeah,
another one and push.
keeping our distance, just to know where they
There
are
you
going.
go.
There you go. All right.
Yeah.
So you both creep out behind them. Make another vigilance, an observation roll. Oh no, vigilance.
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 Oh yeah, because vigilance is what we're so good at, you and I, John.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We're known for it.
Well, you
Yeah.
are actually. That's not bad.
No.
John's very good at it. Oh,
yeah.
look at
All
that.
right.
Two dice and it comes in. Okay. You now get a better look. You're creeping up behind around them. By the way, they're moving. It's pretty dark. Like they've got a torch, but there's not a lot of light. You see that this thing that the big guy is holding is wrapped in swaddling like a baby. And there's actually something in there moving around. And the sound you now realize is coming from the swaddled thing.
Oh, poor little baby's crying.
Looking at you, John Ainsworth, and I'm miming.
Fire!
Is that meant to be taught? You know, is that meant to be matches? Is that you know, fire made it good? That kind of thinking again. I appreciate. All right, so you guys creep along, are following them. What are you doing, Samuel? You're the only one I haven't asked. What are you doing? You were gesturing. The doctor's gone over to check the body and check Father Daniel, not the body. That
His
was
body,
a bit euphemistic.
not his corpse.
Yeah, not his corpse. Yeah, not the body. His body.
I'm kind of. I guess I'm not with Atlanta or John.
You are not.
But I'm kind of outside, and I've snuck around to kind of the side of the tent where I can see what's going on, but I'm not as close as, say, John and Atlanta.
Okay, fine. All right. So you're watching them, so you know what I've already described.
Mm-hmm.
At that point, can I get another empathy roll, please?
Oh, gold.
From only those people who are conscious.
Conscious.
Yeah, I will
I'm
go limp
currently still
now.
conscious.
Sweet
Let's see how
Jesus, you
long.
people are rolling like no one's business.
Ah.
Come on.
Okay.
Fucking hell. All right, so that's an unbelievable set of rolls, people.
I have 3 dice only.
I was running Cypher last night, and one of the guys rolled like 3 ones in a roll in a go. It was quite an impressive level of, hey, GM, would you like to do something nasty to the party rolls? Sure, why not? I'll roll a d20 and get a 1 3 times in a row. What's the chances? Mind you, I played poker last week, and I got 2 sets of 8. We were playing Texas Hold'em, and I got 2 aces twice in a row in my 2 cards. So, you know, luck favors the bold. The rest of, I keep on expecting this to happen, but it's not happening. So they then point at one of the tents and move into it.
Oh,
Do we know whose tent it is from our
You do
conversation?
not. It's just a said random tent.
I
A minute.
look at John and
Yeah.
I mime pulling the
Mm.
tent pegs out and collapsing the tent upon them. And
So
then
you're
I
doing
try-
something that looks
hold my
vaguely
hand.
like, milking a cow, but in reverse, like you're the
Well,
pulling
no,
up
I
as
mean,
opposed to the
the
pulling
tent
down.
pegs are there. Like I can
No,
touch them. And
I can imagine you're pointing at them. You're saying, "There they are, right in front of us now. We could do this." It's beautiful. There's what are you doing, John? Are you creeping up to the tent?
I'm gesturing that with a gun.
Which you don't have. Which you don't have. Is that the point? It's like they
No,
have
got
a
a gun.
gun. All right, so there's this miming thing going on outside, some distance from it. Samuel,
you know what
you're
we're
watching.
doing here in the 1930s? We are actually inventing Scooby-Doo, because I was going to suggest we use the tie ropes to wrap the tent around the bus. No.
those dastardly kids.
Yeah.
I guess I want to try and see before they go into the tent if the light shining, the torch that they're using to get into the tent, if the angle is appropriate, that I can see what is being swaddled.
The shining torch.
So
well, they've gone
is
into
it-
the tent. They haven't shined a torch into the tent, but
No, but they've had the torch outside, and then they're moving into the tent.
make for me a vigilance roll, please.
Absolutely.
To the point.
Not
No.
this time.
The universe says niet.
Nah. I don't see.
You shall
I
not
just-
see what is in the swaddling.
No, I have
Right.
a suspicion, but I'm just. Oh, it must be a baby.
A screaming magical baby.
I'm getting the impression that I'm having to keep myself awake. It's actually quite tiring. I'm feeling not just exhausted.
You are
but
feeling quite
also
exhausted,
battered.
yeah.
And I worry that this noise is going to do it to me. So I signal that to John. We need to remember this, though. So I just wonder whether I might, if the tent's got an entrance to it, I'm thinking about
Mark
going
it.
around the back of the tent
Yeah.
and
mark
just
it.
hiding from them, but knowing that this is the tent that they went into.
I
And
have a pencil
expecting
with
at
me.
any point to just fall asleep.
Okay.
Do
Alright.
you want to just mark the tent with something to make sure that when we wake up to visit once again? I have
Well-
a pencil.
Well, I mime to you something
Yeah,
quite indescribable, but you can see my intent, obviously.
yeah.
That's not,
I have.
I'm not in the tent. That's my
Mm.
intent to be just outside the tent.
Get it
Okay.
complicated.
While you guys are having this discussion, you see that they've now come out. The big man, the big huge guy, now has the thing with swaddling, which is screaming, and he has about a 10, 12-year-old child over his shoulder,
Oh, fuck.
over his shoulder.
It's time to intervene.
Yeah.
I got. I will.
So
try
they've come
to.
out. Is John in plain view? I am behind the tent now, so I'm
Well, you
guessing behind me.
both were stealth, so you've got a bit of I'll assume that you are concealed. That's fine. That's
I will
okay.
try to throw some stone just to distract them for a bit, to see how
They're
they
deaf,
will react.
though, aren't they?
They're deaf. Okay. Oh, forgot.
Well, try. But bear in mind, it's got to do more than make a noise. Got to be something visual that also doesn't point to where the stones came from.
All right, Samuel, you can see this as well. Amadeus, what are you doing? You've checked on Father Daniel. He's unconscious. What do you want to do?
Well, if there's nothing to be done, then just make sure that she's sort of comfortable, on her
Yeah.
side and stuff, and then I'll see whether I can follow the others.
Fuck it. I'm going to grab the child off the shoulder. Just
Okay,
gonna-
you leap out of the darkness and try and wrestle this child away from the big bloated man.
Yeah.
That is your action. Can I get a what is it again? Force roll. That's right.
It will be forced. That's what I really excel at, not.
No.
Yeah, seeing this, I will.
One dice.
Yeah, well, at least you didn't lie. I mean, I'll give you points for complete honesty. I do not excel at force. That dice would suggest you are 2 thumbs up on that statement. So you leap out of the darkness and attempt to grapple this child away. The big man is like, sort of steps out of your way, obviously having felt your presence, not heard it. Turns around, realizes that there's someone awake in the thing. Now that you're up close to him, can I actually get a fear check, please? Obviously, your choice of logic or empathy. Please do not
Empathy
feel
every
held back.
time.
Yeah.
Is the guy with the fedora behind him or
next to
Oh, I
him.
can't push that.
next to him?
How scary is he?
Pretty scary, actually. So he's mottled purple and like he looks like a man who's been pummeled to death. Like he's got all this purple bruising. Well, what you think is purple bruising, that's what it looks like. All over his face and his arms, that bloating look. You can see underneath his skin, there's this kind of constant sense of movement. Like there's like, it's like watching,
Frankenstein monster.
it's like watching eels kind of surface out of the water and then roll back into the water, that kind of slimy thing. And you can see his arms are writhing and his face has got the same motion and action, and there's all this purpling all over his face. You also see the face of the swaddled thing. It's this visage which is probably closest to that of a monkey, but it's not. It feels wrong. It doesn't feel like it's from around here. Do you this is going to be a callback to maybe something you've seen, maybe you haven't. Do you remember in the X-Files, this is going back a long way, I understand, if you watched it, which I assume most of you did, there was this lamprey monster person. So they were this mottled white face. They had all this, they had all these wrinkles, and then they had this kind of round, open mouth with a lamprey-like sort of set of teeth in a circle on the inside of it. It was actually one of the more horrific monsters in X-Files. I have distinct memories of it even to this day. That's what you're looking at, but in baby size, inside the swaddling. So take 2 points of fear.
What do I do with 2 points of fear? I can't even remember. So
you take 2 conditions.
Oh, where do I log this?
Under conditions at the bottom of the
mental.
So mental.
Yeah, no, I'll probably seeing this.
2 points of mental conditions, basically. I take.
Yeah, 2 conditions. You take.
I'm already frightened. Now I'm angry and hopeless too.
Oh shit.
Yep. So you're pretty damn close to broken.
Yeah.
Right. So you have seen this horrific visage.
I recoil.
You recoil backwards.
It wasn't the lack of strength that didn't get this child. It was the sight
it was
of
the
this.
horror.
Horror.
To use the right language, it was the horror. Right, John, what are you doing? You've seen Atlanta dive forward, and then, in a sense, as he sort of leapt up to grab, the person shifted sideways. He's seen something you haven't quite seen yet, and he's recoiled backwards in absolute abject horror.
I'm probably seeing that somebody has a Tommy gun with him. So
someone still has a Tommy gun. Yeah,
I'll try to sneak behind him and maybe take some branch or something or some block of wood and try to knock him out at least.
Okay, so you picked up a branch and you leap out of the darkness and swing it at the guy with the Tommy gun. That's simplistically.
It's very brave.
I think that's still a force roll because it's
100%.
Swinging a stick at someone's head is not quite close combat in my feel of it. So make a force roll for me, please, as you swing said stick out of the darkness.
Do I get any bonus dice because I'm using the stick?
You get a bonus dice because you're using the stick.
Okay, generous of you.
Dear dice. Oh,
Yeah,
look at
3
that.
dice.
Bloody hell.
Yeah.
You're good with sticks, really, aren't you?
Giving up all weapons for sticks.
You know, I will now, from now on, swear off any other weapon other than a stick I have picked up on the ground. All right, you slam into this guy with the stick. He actually kind of crumples away from you. You've hit him pretty hard. He sort of spins sideways, caught by surprise. Most important, well, perhaps not most importantly, because you don't have the other reference point. He looks completely normal. He looks like a person. You know, he's a tall, thin guy with a submachine gun. I mean, other than the submachine gun bit, he looks completely fine. So you smash into him with the stick. He sort of crumples away from you a bit, obviously caught completely by surprise and flung sideways. You're sort of standing there triumphant now, right? Like you've smashed this guy down. You know that just one more swing would probably take him down. Like he's not, like you've hit him really hard. He's turning towards you and looking pretty freaking angry though. And you haven't knocked him out. Just before I continue, Samuel, what are you doing?
Well,
You've seen this going down.
Samuel has a gammy leg. And
he does.
He's
not a runner.
No. And he always has his sawed-off shotgun inside.
And he's always got his solution for being gammy leg,
because
shooting people with the
it keeps it straight. It's like a brace. So I pull out my shotgun and I shoot the big guy because Atlanta has moved away from him. And so I figured that I want to save.
Let me remind you, the big guy is carrying a child and you've got a shotgun.
Yeah, I'm a pretty good shot.
Okay.
Yeah, but do you know how sawn-off shotguns actually work?
Well,
they're evil child anyway.
It kind of shoots. It doesn't shoot. It's shot. It kind of spreads. But I'm not in my right mind.
Yeah, because the sawn-off shotgun bit actually means the spread starts earlier. Like that's why their range is so shit, because I would
move forward.
They're a blunderbuss, right? You're shooting someone with a blunderbuss.
I would move as close as possible and then take the shot.
Right.
But
to your point, you're not making all of the sensible decisions one might make in other circumstances.
Absolutely not. But I am smart enough to try to aim for the legs.
Okay, so you're going low.
I'm going low instead of going high. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Can I get a fear roll, please, as you step up and go to unload your shotgun? 2 conditions, please.
I'm frightened and hopeless. Can I still take my shot?
Are you already frightened and hopeless? Is that what you're saying?
Oh, no, I'm saying that's what I just got. I was frightened.
Oh, damn. Okay. Because then you would have been broken and, the joy in my life.
Yeah, I know. Can I shoot?
But absolutely. Please do. Yes. Yes. No. Make that firearm roll. Please take 2 penalty dice on. Oh, it's too late. Damn. All right. That'll be fine. Okay. So,
sorry.
It's fine. It's fine. You got 2 successes, so that probably does the same thing. So you go low, you shoot him in the legs. You fire the gun, and this is part of the reason why your fear response is so strong. You fire the gun at him. He looks at you in anger, like he's offended, not like he's frightened, like he's offended by you. The bullets from the gun hit his legs, and you see something deeply disturbing. The bullets pass through him a bit. So there's this kind of,
jelly.
waviness to his, yes, it's like jelly, but not quite.
Jelly.
Yeah, he kind of wobbles where you shoot him. You do cause him some damage with the shotgun, but you also sense that the gun has not been as effective as it otherwise might have been, as he doesn't seem to be quite here. And you are now looking at this guy full on, and he's got the description that I gave earlier, the writhing stuff under his skin, the purple blotching. You can also now, because you've been desperately trying to see it, see the screaming lamprey face in the swaddling. You have successfully not hit the child, so 2 points for you. Did not cause civilian death in session, win. But he's definitively not right. And you feel this crushing horror as you look on this face that makes you go, shit, that's not okay. Also, you haven't done him anywhere near as much damage as you clearly hoped you would, but you have pissed him off. So tick for that. All right, so their responses to the above. First of all, can everyone make a empathy roll, please, to stay awake?
Staying awake, staying awake, staying awake.
That would be a no from Samuel.
Not this time.
That would be a no from Amadeus.
Can this be pushed? Oof.
It cannot.
Oh,
All right,
John.
John and the stick.
It
John
kind of
and
makes
his
sense,
stick.
actually. John's on a roll. John's like there with the stick. He's slamming into the guy with the stick. He's focused. He's got some focus. It's like the guy with the submachine gun must knock him out. So, John, you're awake. Everyone else, you collapse into unconsciousness.
Oof.
John, it's you and the submachine gun guy who's now desperately trying to bring his submachine gun around to shoot you. If you, I think so. Can you make for me a precision roll, please?
Precision, straight precision. Okay.
Yep, straight precision.
Oh, nope.
Okay. All right. He's spinning around and pointing the Tommy gun at you. You've got the stick. He gets off a single shot. He starts to open up with it as you swing the stick in. Make your force roll, please.
Okay. With the bonus dice or without?
Close combat. Is he? If he's hitting him with a stick, is it close combat?
I think John would prefer force.
Okay, force is good.
Because I think he's a boxer.
Use the force.
Okay. You smash into him with a stick, but he shoots you at the same time. Which is going to be not so fantastic for you.
Can I evade or something? Or this was the precision? Okay,
no, you're right on top of him. Then this is the game where dodging machine gun bullets isn't actually a thing you do.
Possible.
All right.
100%. It's my own doing, so yeah.
He might miss.
He might. Well, he's rolling less dice than he normally would. Let's put it that way, because he's taken a pretty significant whack in the side of the head, which is good because he normally rolls a lot of dice with the submachine gun. Submachine guns being what they are. Let me just do the math. Minus 3 is 5. Yep, I've got it right. Okay. Oh, you're in luck. No sixes. So he lets off a rattle of submachine gun fire, which misses you. However, at that same moment, so you've smashed him to the ground. He's actually unconscious now. You've beaten him into the ground. He wildly shoots at you with the machine gun. But obviously at this point, the big guy notices you for the first time. He's been busy with other things going on. People have collapsed around him now, and he hears his companion, or he feels his companion collapse to the ground. And actually, he can hear the submachine gun because, they're noisy. So there's a point where you can hear. So he spins towards you.
Fear test.
Fear check, please.
I have a talent to add 1.
Then please use it. That would be my strong advice.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm that lucky till now.
Yeah. Nope. So that'll be the 2 conditions are us moment in the session.
Yeah, I am frightened and angry. Angry because of the guy with the machine gun. Yeah. and frightened because of this creature. Dude.
I feel like that seems legit. All right, so he spins towards you. He sees you. He looks deep into you and smiles a vicious smile. What do you want to do? Got your stick?
I'll probably. I'm seeing that the shotgun didn't do much of a
Well,
thing.
you were
to
busy,
the-
but yep, you can
Yep.
see. Well, he's not slowed down. Let's put it that way. He's
Yeah.
not slowed down.
I don't have time to get the Tommy gun. I will
No, it's
knock.
on the ground.
Yeah, I will try to knock the creature that he's
Oh,
this monkey
smash the.
creatures.
When you say knock, are you slamming into it with the stick? Are you smashing
Yeah.
this child,
Yeah.
this
No,
small baby thing, with your stick?
This monkey thing.
Your lamprey, monkey, monster thing,
Yeah.
horror. No.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Well, swing stick at said baby in swaddling, which I will now use as the term to remind you of the awfulness of what you're doing.
Sorry. The what? Again?
The baby in swaddling. You're smashing the baby in swaddling. That's how I'm going to refer to it for the rest of this fight scene. Anyway. Roll.
Okay.
Please don't let me hold you back.
Oh. I'm trying to. Because of your word, I'm revisiting my thing because hearing the word "baby" is not very.
Oh no, it's an ugly. It's not. It's not.
It's
good.
an ugly child, I think, is where Samuel was
Beastie.
going. So
It's unworldly.
it's unworldly. That is true. It's definitively not of. It's not your average baby. I'll give you that much.
Follow
Okay,
through,
yeah.
John. Follow through.
Okay. Trusty branch. I'm gonna push. I'm
you're gonna
going
push
to
it.
push it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's
I'm
legit.
probably wounded.
You've got lots of conditionality goodness there, don't you? I'm looking at your character sheet by accident, and you've got like heaps of conditions. Burn 'em, baby. Burn 'em.
Again. One success.
All right. Okay, you hit the child. For a second, the screaming child is smashed into silence by the swing of the stick. He is pissed now. Like really, really, really pissed. He looks at you and screams out something in a language. You weren't around at the beginning, were you?
No.
So you don't have, your character doesn't have a recollection of this, but if other people were awake, they would. He screams at you and says words that scratch at your ears, like, claws down the side of your face kind of feeling, sharp claws clawing down the side of your face. Your ears are sort of assaulted by something. Make a make a physique roll. Make a force. Actually, it's force. I think it would be force. Yeah, make a force roll. It's in your
Force.
Yep.
Can I push it again? It's advisable to push, or
Have you got anything left?
Generally, I don't agree. Generally, I don't play you can use force for defense kind of roles logic.
Okay.
As a general free leaguey sort of year zero kind of concept, you don't generally get to push those sorts of things. All right. You feel. Sorry, go.
No. Because this is an attack, not an action. This is a sort of what you call it, resistance.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
There's a moment, and you feel your flesh withering under the assault of what is clearly magic. So you can feel yourself being sort of withered and shattered down. Take 3 physical conditions, please.
I am down.
You are broken.
Yeah.
As he points at you with his hand and drains you. I don't have my this. Oh, yes, there it is. Give me 1 sec.
Yay.
I've got it.
It's a crit table.
Yeah.
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 You just
There's one in
crit.
Foundry, isn't there? But he hasn't
All
showed
right.
it.
I have the Vessen book. Anyone remember where the critical table is?
No.
Yeah.
It's in the Versen book, Thomas.
63.
Yeah,
Page 63.
good. Page 63. There you go.
I made this up, by the
Uh,
way. I'm guessing.
No, you're pretty close. It was 65.
Nice.
There you go.
65 now.
So extra points for Frank for helping me as the GM find ways to hurt players. All right.
And Father Daniel.
And Father Daniel, Oh, thank you, Father Daniel. Thank you. If you just hold that
Give
up
it there, Father Daniel. We'll just raise you to the main screen. Oh, I can't do
Yeah.
that.
No, unfortunately, it is a 22. I. How do I do that? How do I? Oh, I don't know how to do that. Anyway, all right.
Damage
22.
throat.
Damaged throat. Wheezing. -1 stealth.
That's
a
a
bit
bit.
That's a bit sad.
Relatively
Isn't it?
harmless.
Relatively harmless.
Relatively harmless. All right.
Um,
The baby goes silent for a second. You collapse to the ground because he's done something horrible to you that has drained you of life and energy. And then you all wake up the next morning.
Oh.
Where we fell, those of us who didn't fall into our bed like Father Daniel,
Yeah.
just in the ground
Yeah. Where you fell.
with a parent who's now mourning over the loss of her child in the
Yes.
tent next to me.
Yes.
and
Rob,
I am
you
unconscious.
You are unconscious. So you don't
Hmm.
immediately wake up. Good news is you're not dying. So 2 thumbs up for
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
But yeah, when you recover, when you wake up the next morning or when they find you, you're like withered, like you're dehydrated. Probably the best description is you look like someone who's been without water and food for several days.
And my
Talking
throat
of,
is.
What happened?
the mafiosi, is he?
He's gone.
Mafiosi?
He's gone.
Half
And his
UC.
Tommy gun's gone.
What?
Mafioso. That's one.
Mafioso. What
Mafioso,
happened?
yeah, you're
I was awake with you, and then I've just woken up. I don't know what happened. Did we all fall asleep?
Eventually.
You were the first to go down.
Do we remember?
Oh,
Yes.
We remember everything we saw, though.
Yes.
And my shotgun is in front of me?
Yep. Lying on the ground. It's not, well, it's probably beside you, but, playing fundamental effect. Yep.
All right.
Well, I put it back in my trousers.
I'll check over everybody to
feel?
just
Have we
see what the
recovered in
status
this sleep from any of our conditions?
No, you feel completely unrested.
that's a surprise.
is there anything I can do to treat people?
Yes. Well, you can treat the massively dehydrated. it's definitively had better days.
And damaged
what
throat.
happened? Do you give me the lowdown on what happened?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
if
gonna. I just want to unload what I saw. So I'm telling you, as accurately as I can describe the creatures that came and stole a child in the middle of the night.
I was right then. They've potentially used the batteries that you had to summon this horrendous creature, and this horrendous creature is feeding on people.
I don't know what he's doing with. Well, he's definitely got the ability to feed on people. Well, no, actually, I don't know that. I don't know what he's doing with people, but he took a child out of that tent. There's 2 creatures.
John?
Sorry?
What happened to John?
Fuck knows.
So you can all catch up. You can all kind of be up to speed. You can all, you kind of all share the the necessary information. You all remember exactly what happened.
I get the stick. I make sure that the stick returns
Stick of
to
truth.
John at some point.
Right.
Holy stick.
Good. He needs it as a walking stick for now. So, Frank, you can. Do you heal 3 conditions? You do, don't you? Because you're.
I think so, yeah.
doctoring. Yeah, I think
So-
that's right.
That was
So-
for John.
Yeah. So, John, for you, for the rest of the adventure, but not
-1.
permanently winning at life, you have a damaged throat, which means you have -1 to your stealth rolls.
If you have the Vason module,
Yeah, I
you
think
can,
I do.
you can
I
drag
bet
and
so.
drop the
It's
the
got,
drag
it's
and
different
got,
conditions.
it's got a defect, but then at the end of the adventure, he gets to make
The roll.
a healing roll to see if he keeps that permanently.
Yeah, I have.
That's an
it
insight,
here.
yeah.
Yeah.
Let me just find. Oh, it's in alphabetical order. So no, it's not. Okay, what's the number? What's
22.
No, I was just trying to find its explicit name. Sorry, damaged throat. Right, damaged throat. Boom. Should be on your sheet now, mate. And it is. Yeah, it's appeared under your combat tab.
Okay. Yeah, damage throat. Yeah, sure.
All right.
How many conditions did I hear?
I think it's
So that,
It should be
3.
3.
Yeah.
That was what I heard.
Because if
Yeah,
you get an
I'm
extra
at-
success, I think it's 6.
Yeah, I was actually, yeah, shortchanged myself by 1 die because the med kit gives you 2 success, 2 gear bonus, not 1. If you want, I
You
can
got
roll
anything
1
in
more.
that
You want to
bag
roll
of
the
six
extra die? You can roll the extra die. I
that
don't
can
mind.
recover my extreme tiredness?
All right.
So
Yeah, so you're all exhausted.
Amadeus?
Afternoon nap.
is that a condition exhausted or just exhausted?
A
well, you-
condition.
Well,
I-
no, sorry. In answer to your question, it was more a general comment about where your
okay,
status was.
Cool.
People
I,
have conditions.
I think I'm the only one who has no conditions at the moment.
That's right.
I'm
Yeah.
actually exhausted, yeah.
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 I
Most of the rest of you feel
have
like-
exhausted and 2 mental condition.
Yeah. Look how fast you get back up. I mean, that's magic, that is. All right.
You can spend
So,
some as your memento.
yes,
Oh,
you could use mementos, people, to,
yeah. I will
I-
use.
fondly remember and remove a condition if you want.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm conscious that for you guys, it's going to be getting on to, what is
Dog
it, 10
walking
o'clock or
time.
something
Okay.
like that. I don't know the
That
exact
time.
time, but I think that's right. So we'll be calling it in a few minutes. So let's just kind of like work out next steps, and I'll book it for earlier, or probably actually I might go with this time actually, if that's okay. So 5:30 is doable
I
for
might
me.
try and reset
Hour and a half is not too bad.
session. I'm sure it
Yeah,
should work.
it's fine.
Yeah.
Starting at
All right.
8:30.
Yeah, just because
Okay.
then I don't have to get up at 4:45.
4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, absolutely.
So next steps, guys. You still have the same sort of fundamental pieces of information.
Prospect house, isn't it?
Yeah, Prospect
Prospect
House.
House.
You were going to go to the library, so it's up to you whether you still want to continue down that path. One thing,
Things have escalated a
so
little bit.
some of you saw the person monster thing, like
Yeah.
the face of the person monster thing.
Is that Hawks?
Is that Hawks? No. But on that note, if you ask around with an intention to describe what the person's face,
Mm-hmm.
the doctor can tell you that sounds kind of like Theodore Sedgwick.
Oh.
Ah, the bloated man.
Oh.
I was wondering that actually. I
But
was thinking.
but you sort of describe him
it
as this big,
Theodore.
fat, giant man, and he's going, no. He's big, but he's not bloated. He's just a big guy, has a lot of presence, that sort of thing. But sort of describing how his face looks and that sort of thing, it's like, no, that sounds a bit like Theodore Sedgwick, but not Theodore Sedgwick.
And our wiry mafioso.
Yeah, so that the number of people do recognise he's Theodore's factorum and
They're
general
both Theodore.
fixer of problems.
His helper, his sidekick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I'm just looking up his name. Sorry, give me 1 second. No. It will come to me in a second. So, Roscoe.
Must be called Tony.
Alex Rossetti.
Oh, okay.
The Sutty family, are they connected at all with the mafiosi that we tangled with that first time?
No. Oh, actually, sorry.
I
let
mean,
me.
obviously they're connected somehow because they all are.
Yeah.
But, not Joey.
You would be actually. It's not a fair question. Not a fair. It's not an unfair question for Atlanta to have an answer to. So, by all means, make a learning roll for me, please.
Yeah, learning is the thing that I excel at, particularly at this time.
Yeah, you're a champion. I know. Yeah, well, maybe. Who knows?
Could I?
Mafioso, mate. They're a dime a dozen.
Yeah.
So could either Dr. Amadeus or Father Daniel determine, like, did they have any point of reference for this baby that we saw?
I didn't see
Yeah,
it.
no.
It was a lamprey. That's the point of reference.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, no.
Perhaps getting some beeswax and some wool to clog our ears, but you know how that's not actually that.
Sorry, guys. Give me
effective.
1 second.
Oh, that is a thing, though, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it is a
That
thing,
isn't
yeah.
a daft idea.
No, that's brilliant.
That's what they had done, probably. That's why they were doing sign language.
Yeah.
I like the idea of the pencil and marking the tent just in case we didn't remember.
With a pencil. You want to mark a tent with a pencil.
Pen.
Put a
They didn't have
little-
biros back then, did they?
put a piece of cloth around the tent peg or something. You can see it much easier.
Yeah.
No Sharpies.
Mark it with my bloodied face and with my injuries.
Bloody handle.
Luckily, it's seared onto
coughing
my
the
memory
blood
by being
out.
the tent by which I saw the most incredible. You know, in all these adventures, I have managed to avoid shocking and horrific sights. For most of my time, I've managed to be somewhere else when the horrible stuff happens.
And just
I am
this one
somewhat blown over by this one.
Well, apart from when we were in the dreamland, when it was just all horrific.
Oh, that was all. Yeah. My life has definitely turned to shit in the last couple of adventures. I'm feeling.
That was awesome. That was also fun because it seemed like it was longer than it was, but shorter in a lot of ways. It was great.
Yeah.
We packed a lot in.
Yeah, indeed.
Okay, so next session, you guys are going to have a crack at Prospect House. Is that?
Well,
Yeah, I think so.
Next session,
I don't
I'm going to
think
recover. I'm going to make some recovery rolls, and then I'm going to have a crack at that.
I don't
we
think
need
you
to
need to worry
recover a
about
bit.
the library. It's gone beyond that now.
Yeah,
You've
no
moved
time
on
for
from the
books.
library. You've decided general research probably not what we need right now.
No,
Why are they taking children?
Because
This
they
is
like
what we need to
them,
find out.
Samuel. Because they want to lift them up and give them opportunities to thrive that they wouldn't otherwise have.
that's
I
right.
mean, that's the.
yeah.
If you ask them, that is the answer you're going to get, buddy. Like, we want people to thrive. We want them to do well. No, we're not draining the life force of the young to do some horrible thing. You know, it's all about.
Still a question, because he can drain the life force of John Armsworth just by looking at him. If it was all about just sucking the life force out of these kids, he'd be doing it in the tent and they'd be waking up next to them dead in the morning.
Actually,
No,
that's a
taking
good point.
for fueling something.
Which of you were around when you fought them the first time? It's Atlanta and Amadeus, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just the two of us.
You actually do. So you recognize what he did, because I don't know if you recall, but it's actually how one of you died the first time round, when you were killed in the
Me in the theater. In the
theater.
when,
Oh, it was your
boys-
character.
Yeah.
It's basically the withering spell from Cthulhu. So yeah, it's not really, well, it could be draining life force, but you've actually seen this effect before. You actually know it. Like, it is definitively that thing.
Yeah, but I didn't actually see it this time.
It's the requirement of the spell that it can only be cast on Muhammad.
Twice.
Character name, no, player name. There's an interesting intersection. Yeah.
Yeah, I put myself in stupid situations, so yeah, I
Yeah,
deserve
it's
it.
the second time he's charged to cross open ground towards a powerful evil sorcerer and paid the price. Really, you'd think he'd learn eventually. But anyway, all right. So good session, guys. Fast and
Thank you.
Furious.
Thank you very much, Tom.
Thank you.
I will see you all sometime
At
soon at
8:30
8:30 in
at
the
some
night.
point in the future.
At
See you
8:30
soon,
in-
guys. See you
All
soon.
right. Oh, evening. Sorry. All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Cool. Cheers.
Bye.
Thanks very much.
Cheers.
It was great.
Bye.